PhilLesh, our round 4 opponent, always plays Grixis control 100% of the time. So this should be a pretty grindy battle. And we are on the play. Alright, I say that and then I open up a hand like this. So this hand straight up loses to Force of Will, but its potential is so high that you just can't afford to send it back. So I think you do keep a hand like this. I mean, as a turn 1. If you lose the Force, you lose the Force. If you walk into a casino and they tell you that you have a 60% chance in order to win X game, let's say for some reason blackjack that night was 60%, even though it's really like 48.5, you would play that game the entire night because the odds are in your favor, and over time you will win more games than you lose. So you do keep a hand like this. It's just profitable in the long term. Oh, our opponent's mulligan. Also, my chair is making some lovely noises today. Just delightful. So on 6 cards, you're about, I want to say like 35% to have Force of Will and a blue card. It could be a little lower. It could be like 33, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. Where having Force of Will and a blue card on 7 is like 38 to 42, depending on your blue count. Alright, let's battle. If either of these line size gets forced, we're okay with it. But we can't afford to have this forced. We're all in on this Infernal Tutor right now. And our opponent had the 35%. Removing Daze, so he might not actually be on Grixis control. We're not going to concede because we want more information out of our opponent. There's no need to just pack it in when you could learn more things about their deck, other than the fact that they're a blue deck. Wasteland is not pretty typical out of Grixis control, so that's something that's good to know. Oh, they're on the mission briefing, Grixis Delver. They have a pair of Wastelands. So I do know that our opponent, I realized who it is. He won the last, leaving a legacy open. So he was the guy that made the mission briefing deck possible. And I do know that he runs a couple copies of Electrickery in his board. And those happen to work with the overload with mission briefing. So you can mission briefing and overload an Electrickery. That's pretty good. I imagine like the only way we win this is if this Ponder next turn finds Ad Nauseam. And then on top of that, we were going to need a Nuts Ad Nauseam and our opponent not to have anything. So like our odds of winning are super low. They just happened to find what they needed. Here's the Delver. This empty is not good enough, so we'll have to shuffle. Alright, mission briefing to flip Delver will do it. Okay. So we're gonna bring in our second copy of Empty, the one with the other art, the one that we used to kill Renee Randup. And we're gonna board out a Thoughtseize. Just waiting on our opponent. If there's a game 3, I might consider boarding in Hope of Gearper. Just because it's an extra way of stopping effects like Flusterstorm or Immersion Briefing into a counter. Unplayable. It's a hand. It's pretty good. Alright, so we're going to start off by jamming Duress. And if our opponent doesn't have any way to interact with us, we can empty turn 2. But they do have double force. Delver was a good draw. Our opponent still has that Pyroblast open, so we're not going to cast Ponder yet. Delver did not flip, that's good. Another Delver, that is not good. Alright, so now we're going to jam these Ponders. These Delvers pose a very serious threat for us because we need to win quickly before our life total is too low, and they shut off empty. But he also has Force and Spell Pierce slowing us down, so this game is looking pretty grim at the moment. All the Ponder. Alright, they had to flip at some point. It's pretty unfortunate. Alright, so our opponent's last two are Force Preordain. We do want the Lion's Eye Diamond. So, it's best to cast Dark Ritual here. He's likely going to force it, but let's say he doesn't. Because if we just Thoughtseize, we can't Ad Nauseam. Because we have to imprint a black card into... Alright, so now we could Storm 4, Mox, Storm 5, 6, 7, 8. We could empty for 16, which isn't enough here. So next turn, I don't even know if we have enough mana, but we get to make our land drop, and then we can Infernal Tutor for Past in Flames, maybe? I haven't counted the mana yet. It might just not be enough. But regardless, we couldn't do anything if we started with Thoughtseize there. We really needed our opponent to draw a blank, but they put 2 on the bottom and ripped Wasteland, so that's probably the game. So now we're going to fall down to 1 life. And I think we're short. I don't think we can win now because of that Wasteland. So, Burning Wish. If our opponent didn't Wasteland us, we could Ritual, Tutor, and then have triple Ponder. So our tutor will get LED, and then we'd be chaining Ponders, hoping to win. But instead we just have nothing. So we'll grab Tendrils. Tendrils doesn't even do anything here. It buys us a single turn. And that is the match. So we are now 3-1. Not a big deal. Black Belcher did not get there, unfortunately. But hopefully we can still top 8.